All right.
Hello everyone! Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Data Brief! Oh, did I forget to post the broiler chicken show? Oh, I guess that's today's, eh? Did I? I don't even know if I did post the broiler chicken thing yesterday. I might have forgotten. Wow, that's kind of weird. That's a bizarre start to the video. I just happened to look at the dashboard and something came to mind. Anyway, what the hell? Yeah, let's do this thing. So we had today's Monday. Monday is the 27th of July, coming into the FOMC meeting, which it appears that all the currency markets are moving into that event. So we've been just sort of calming down with regard to any new ideas within currency land, just sort of letting things settle down as the US dollar's in pretty much free fall here right now. Of course, on things like gold and cryptocurrencies, they're enjoying this flight to quality. Is that what we call it? Flight to safety? Flight to get me the hell out of society? Vote here, and they're zooming higher. Interesting disconnect, though, between the highly speculative part of the cryptocurrency market, the quote-unquote altcoin market, and Bitcoin. It seems Bitcoin dominance kind of conversation. It's sort of suggested this before. I've seen this happen many times in Bitcoin, where the altcoins go through a pretty favorable seasonal window. They enjoy a nice rally. Then Bitcoin looks over its shoulder and says, hey, enough's enough. And it sort of re-exerts its power over the space. I've suggested repeatedly, if you're going to look at your ideas, look at them versus US dollar, look at them versus euro, and trade off of those charts. If you start trading versus Bitcoin, and we go through an event like we've had today, you might get nasty surprises. Just be aware of that. For the purposes of, on Mondays, we have a site update by our TRI Chief Technology Officer, Sjord. And he's in the process of putting in place a new engine. So as a result, data's a little splotchy here. I think he said we'll have it up and running again by Wednesday. Our daily brief, probably a pretty focused conversation around three parts of the market. Gold and any gold proxies, they're done very well, and I banged out a nice double today, established a free position on a gold proxy, my sort of proxy in the gold space rally. Some individual names. We had one option trade that I did off of a technical chart pattern that I really love. We can talk about that in a bit, but those are very few and far between. We had another name that we were touting back 6-8 months ago. I walked away from it because my technical setup failed, but others that had different strategies working, they held on. And they got paid big time today on Socket Mobile. That was a real winner for TRI today, so that was kind of cool to see. I wasn't personally in it, but really good chart. In fact, actually, if I'm not mistaken, Kevin, I think you said you were in this thing, weren't you? I don't know whether Kevin's
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, so
Fjord too.
Yeah, so lots of TRIers got paid big time here today. So way to go, guys. As for me, like I said, I was able to get off a nice win on a forestry name. Beautiful outside upside key reversal. And Sjord, our CTO, he's telling us that these screeners are just about up and running in our charts. He's built this chart system. Ooh, so cool. So I went and picked up some calls off this key reversal and was able to bang out a nice free position. These are January options, so I'm not really in any hurry to do anything with the rest of it. And as you can see, gold names, all our little gold names are all very uppy here. Some good looking charts. Look at the W coming in off of this guy. And then, like I said, playing the bigger stocks, I got a nice fill off here this morning. I established a quote-unquote risk-free position by selling half of my calls at double my purchase price here. So I'm not really worried or concerned about this gold trade. Basically, I'm riding the market's coattails. I'm riding its money, playing with the market's money. So they want to take the gold market higher, great, go for it, have fun, knock yourself out. If that's it for the gold, maybe this thing craps out. I don't have anything at risk now. So I do like establishing these little free votes in these markets as they pop up. So, like I said, gold and metals markets looking very uppy. There are these specialty situations like that forestry name I told you about. Socket Mobile, a lot of TRIers did really well on that. But on balance, actually I see the stock market's kind of just parked. This, to me, feels very much like they're setting the market up here for the other side of the FOMC meeting, which is on Wednesday. My hunch is they're finding some sort of bottom in this US dollar index. I believe this is very coordinated. Like, I think what happened was, the world shit its pants there back in March and, right around the Ides of March through this event here. And a whole bunch of swap lines and stuff had to be established because basically all the international currency markets just collapsed. I think what's happened here was that this cost the system a lot of money. And I believe this is an orchestrated move to depreciate the US dollar. So when those swap lines and stuff are paid back, it's a zero-sum game. That feels to me like what's going on here because this is very orchestrated. It's just one way. It's just absolutely relentless here. I do find it fascinating. Great anecdote of, sometimes the traders just got to trade their damn setups. As I said, I didn't get in on this short and I wasn't in on the longs and the currencies, but I basically took the exact opposite trade in the gold market, which is in essence this trade. It's basically the exact trade in reverse. And like I said, I did it through like Newmont and stuff like that through the gold stocks. Anybody who did take advantage of this, congratulations, way to go. Still really nothing to do on this trade. Obviously if it's options, you have to be worried about expiry and, good principle, just, get yourself into a risk-free trade as fast as possible. But, if you had just bought this commodity or bought bullion alone, there's nothing to do here. You just, sitting at 19 and change, breaking out to all-time highs, obviously that's going to garner a lot of attention. Big fat round number, $2,000. That it seems like that's a slam dunk for it to get hit. But we'll see. I mean, is anything a slam dunk? I suppose not. So stocks kind of, not quite sure. Not exactly acting the way that they should if this really is a risk-off proxy. Kind of like, we're getting a bit worried here. Same thing with the bonds. I would have thought with the gold racing up, the yen's racing up here today, the bonds would have moved higher, but you can see, nope. So there's a bit of selling going on here in U.S. Markets right now. Problem here, of course, is that the public always does the exact wrong thing at the wrong time. So if they dump stocks and bonds and both in unison, that'll be an interesting message. Selling out of the U.S. dollar right at the bottom, is that really a smart move? I don't think so. But remember, people act emotionally. So going and buying gold here today, basically selling your U.S. dollars and buying gold at the very bottom of this move, I don't think that's a good idea. And of course, those people that did buy down in these areas, make darn sure that this has turned into a winning trade by default. Move stop to trailing. You should not lose money on this trade. And for heaven's sakes, if the market does pop up in your individual names, pay yourself. More malaise, coming from that S&P 500 message from the Russell 2000 versus the big cap stocks. They're just parked here. As I said there a moment ago, if you can take advantage of individual situations, outside upside key reversals are just the shit. And, you know, when I see a chart like this is a no-brainer buy. And sure enough, look at what they did. Straight up. So when I saw that key reversal, I had to jump all over this, and I banged out a nice double on my option here. So basically risk-free trade going forward. I don't know where the top is, but I'm really not in any hurry to do anything there. You know, obviously the market du jour, and you know, it'd be interesting to see who's going to win this battle. Who gets the spotlight? Does the gold get the spotlight, or does Bitcoin get the spotlight? If Bitcoin starts stealing the spotlight from gold, that's going to piss those gold bugs off to no end. But hey, this Bitcoin, it's heading up here. There's no doubt about it. I did, and basically my thesis all along here was violently flat. I don't know whether, you know, we're going moon here. I still think that all of this market is moving into that 29th peak. But who knows? It's just an opinion. Trade your setups. I think I had showed the public these, and I thought it was interesting. You know, I remember just maybe even a week or two ago commenting that, hey, you know, these LJs are here. I wouldn't fault anybody who did take this trade. Bot's levels now have fired. Bot levels, if we move back to this level, they walk away at scratch. And, you know, this is a good example of why I like what I call front running the bot, where you're going to buy this W. And if you have to walk away at scratch now because this craps out, you still make a little bit of money. So congratulations to anybody who took the trade. I was very concerned through here about the volume, but this volume is exactly what the bulls want to see. So you notice when we were humming and hawing through here, it was kind of like, oh boy, okay, well, we got some buying interest. Now you have to see a day where it's lower, and then you have to see a follow-through breakout. So now, you know, for volume impetus people, this is a W. So as long as this just keeps making higher highs and higher lows, the bull is in control. So we'll see how this goes. As soon as you notice, here you can see this rally. Notice the bulls started to peter out here. Lower, 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 lower. And then they just sort of disappeared. Where the hell did the bulls go? So it's good to see that the bulls are now woken up. Boom. 12,787. I don't see any reason why you can't use that as a target now. I don't know whether I like the idea of coming in and chasing this trade so late. It's not my style, and frankly speaking, if you did buy here, you have to risk back down against these lows. So that's a hell of a lot of risk. My hunch is the trade's gone. Simple as that. It's interesting to see that versus Euro, we also got the breakout. So this seems to be universal, but interesting how Euro is running into a huge amount of resistance up against these old highs. So there's probably a really good example of this crazy US dollar here, and how Bitcoin can break through these highs versus US dollar, but is having a hard time versus Euro. Still think this is heading higher though. Don't see any reason why not to. That's about everything I wanted to mention there. Some Faugenbaum levels on things like Euro futures. If you're interested, it looks like 119 and change. Seems to be a pretty powerful level up in here. So that's probably what I'm looking for in the short term, and that would be that US dollar finally hitting its bearish bot objective. That's that image, eh? Isn't that incredible? Powerful image. Interesting here on the gold. Now, obviously, the day's still young, but if this is really a rip-roaring bull and it's a buy up here, you want to see that volume ramp up, make a higher high here. My hunch is as we come into these levels, you're probably going to see the volume start to trail off. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. So, up and away. I think I had been posting a bunch of videos recently saying as long as this level still held in, this had to be my bearish objective. That level has now been taken out, so bye-bye. That's off the table now. Blasted through the highs, and I think I even remember saying recently that, should we get a nice counter trend rally back up into reload zones, I will watch and see how we behave in here. And I might just go buy some more puts. Well, you can see we did a shooting star. This is an interesting level up here. There was a cheeky little gap right up against these highs. Market did pull back for sort of an initial move lower. Not enough for me to justify going and actually strapping on a short here. I did want to see like a nice M. So, clearly you can see the market's like, nope, I'm not interested in topping here. And, just play connect the dots, boom, boom, boom. I also see it looks like we have a, this is an interesting line, right? Connect these lows, this high and that high there. That seems to paint somewhere up in here, and gee whiz, there's a good old parking garage way up top there. Interesting too, there seems to be one of our chaos levels floating around up here as well. Oh, there's another one there. So, and you know what's fascinating about this? I remember back here. Yeah, I remember right here. I drew this crazy Feigenbaum level, and I actually published the chart, and I was like, holy Jesus, are they going to take the market all the way up here? And some guy, and this is one reason why I'm kind of losing interest in doing these public videos. Some guy was like, oh, now he's calling for moon. Ugh. Or whatever. Include your own sound effect. And son of a bitch, I mean, there it is. So if you do see a W in price, the Feigenbaum principle just says take the right-hand side of the W and just project those levels up. And it's interesting how this little Feigenbaum level also aligns with that level. And there's that crazy parking garage off of this range. So, you can't write better fiction than reality, that's for sure. Don't get into the business of predicting the future. You just got to trade setups, and if markets come in, they come in. Just try and put yourself into a position that you can participate. Believe it or not, that's half the trouble is they don't have a plan. So they can't clearly articulate what's actually going to get them to act at specific points. And so when the stuff that they kind of thought, well, this Beamish guy does like talking about W's, so I'm thinking about buying some Bitcoins. That's usually the fail is that, when the W's come in, you just sort of watch. And, this guy says up, that guy says down. But you have to build a plan that says, well, if this, and this happens, I have to act. So anybody who's buying 3 higher lows, W's, LJ breakouts, whatever, well, there you go. Merry Christmas. That's, I think I showed you that image earlier. That is, nope, well, I guess somewhere around here. Anyway, yeah, that's these images right there, right? Now you move your stop to scratch and you just live with the results. See what happens. Full disclosure, I did not take this trade. And right now I'm sitting thinking about, well, maybe I might go and buy a put option up here. Full disclosure. Probably the market that I think is really driving this, I'm not quite sure. I had a long conversation with the site about what's actually driving Bitcoin price here. Is this one of these exit pumps from the altcoin frivolity? I did notice, and I tried to point out that, and everybody in the public should focus in on this. When you get these markets to move into levels, it's no accident I call this the parking garage. And you can see what ends up happening, I found in crypto, is they pump the shit out of these altcoins. And then, there's some people that traded this versus US dollars, probably a lot of people that have Bitcoin. But what's weird is I noticed there's this transition. And after the altcoins are pumped, then Bitcoin starts pumping. And it's almost like the exit pump, So, if you're trapped in things like this icon, you're screwed right now. I think there's a lot of people in the public that did this kind of thinking. only looking at it versus Bitcoin, and now, maybe they bought the top, which of course they weren't supposed to do. And now they're heavily underwater and they might be trapped. This OMG versus Bitcoin, same sort of thing. These people that all FOMO'd up here, they might be trapped for a while. We'll see how that goes. Digi here is a really good example, I think, of a name you could have looked at it versus Bitcoin, but that's not really the setup we were interested. We were looking at it versus dollar. And interestingly enough, with all the crazy wranglings in the market right now, this thing actually isn't really doing anything. So I think that's an interesting anecdote of the altcoin market right now. So with that said, feeling a little nosebleedy on things like the shit perp. We're back to sort of, did we really break out here? This right now actually looks like Wyckoff check. Notice that's a Wyckoff check. Then the market went and put in this M. And here we are back asking whether we really have broken out. We might not have. Obviously, the big driver of late, I think, is Ethereum. But what I noticed, and I kind of mentioned this yesterday, again, these Feigenbaum chaos levels, they're just so sick. I think I mentioned this to the public. I can't remember. I thought I did yesterday. Where we drew this chaos level off of this fractal bottom, and it painted this level. And we had that high yesterday. And this, to me, looked like a total trap. And sure enough, they sprung the trap right through that goddamn New York, actually London kill zone, even worse. London kill zone. Ran all the stops out and then quickly put a top in and right, and this Feigenbaum level, remember I had said yesterday that, I don't know, that level needs to be traded to. So that's incredible. As you can see from the schematic, right now, obviously we can't chase. Huge bearish divs. Divs everywhere. Oh, double divs. Double Ds. Oh, my goodness. The only thing that really hasn't failed here, like price momentum itself, is way too far, way too fast. But the only thing that really hasn't failed in earnest is volume. The buyers still are buying. So that tells me that if I did want to hunt a long and continuation trade, I really should be looking for things like a Wyckoff check, right? This is the old high now. So a nice test at 38.2. Kind of like what we counseled on Tesla the other day. Don't chase. Let this thing consolidate a bit. And if it's a bull, then we, of course, we'll pull back and then we'll push higher. And, for us to hunt setups, ideally, we'd love to see a nice little 3 higher lows, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, you don't know. Nobody really knows. Keep in mind, we're coming up to that fundamental event. What I kind of think needs to happen here is this was such a huge push that she needs to reload. But I still think there's going to be another push higher into the fundamental event. But, so what? It's just Brian's opinion. The way I would just simply look at this now is, either we are a bull, all right, and we'll continue our way higher. Show me some good structure in here, and I could maybe hunt a setup. Or we are a bear, and we're done. I don't know. Tough to say. All I'm going to say here, can't buy. Classic Feigenbaum. I think this was a trap. We have a general rule at TRI. If the market is, if you're bullish and the market is show us bearish divergence, what are we supposed to do? So if you're a bull, you got to cool your jets. We got divs everywhere here. Willie nice and stupid. Could this set up a short trade? Yeah, it could. 50%'s right here, But maybe a little bit early for me to get too aggressive on the short side there. All right, so that's sort of what I'm seeing out of ETH. And ETH, I think, is going to be your altcoin kind of proxy. If this thing's done, then my hunch is probably a lot of altcoins are going to cool their jets here a bit. And is this sort of the, excuse me, exit pump that we almost always see on Bitcoin at the end of these little rally windows? into a big FA event, FOMC meeting on Wednesday. Currencies are all repricing themselves, and gold, of course, enjoying a parabolic move. It sure feels like we're coming to the end of some sort of move here, not the beginning. But what the hell? Trade your setups, follow your plan, don't take too much risk, and of course remember what your number one job as a trader is to do. All right, everybody, have yourselves a great day, all the best, and bye for now.